Power Apps for SMBs, build custom tools without developers. Welcome back. Today's topic is Power Apps for SMBs, build custom tools without developers. We'll cover what you actually need to know about Power Apps for SMBs. Next up, moving on to what is Power Apps and how does it work. Microsoft Power Apps is a low-code application development platform inside the Microsoft Power Platform. It lets non-technical users, or people with light technical skills, build custom business apps using a drag-and-drop interface, pre-built connectors, and formula-based logic similar to Excel formulas. There are two main app types. For most SMBs starting out, Canvas apps are the right entry point. They build faster and don't require a Dataverse environment to get going. Now, let's talk about the real case for Power Apps for SMBs. The honest reason Power Apps for SMBs matters is the gap between what small teams need and what custom software actually costs. A basic CRUD internal tool built by a development agency typically runs $15,000 to $40,000 and takes 3 to 6 months. A Power Apps Canvas app covering the same scope takes 2 to 10 days and costs the price of a Microsoft 365 license you may already own. The no-code versus low-code versus custom software comparison we published breaks this decision down in detail, but the short version, Power Apps sits in the sweet spot for internal tooling where speed and budget matter more than pixel-perfect UI. Let's talk about moving on to Power Apps pricing, what SMBs actually pay. This is where SMBs often get confused, so here's a direct breakdown of Power Apps pricing. Per user plan, $20/user/month. The user gets access to unlimited Power Apps within your organization. Per app plan, $5/user/month per app. Next up, let's talk about how Power Apps integrates with Microsoft 365. This is Power Apps' biggest strength for teams already on Microsoft's stack. The Microsoft 365 integration is native, not bolted on afterward. With over 900 pre-built connectors, Power Apps can pull from and push to. For SMBs in healthcare, this integration depth matters beyond convenience. Patient-facing workflows built on Microsoft's stack benefit from Azure compliance coverage and Teams-based access control as part of the overall HIPAA architecture. Power Apps sits inside the same compliant boundary as the rest of the Microsoft cloud when configured correctly. Now, let's talk about building your first Power Apps app, what the process looks like. The most common question from SMB owners is, how long does this actually take? Here's an honest answer by complexity level. Simple list-based app form that submits requests to a SharePoint list, with a gallery view showing submitted items. No developer needed, just someone comfortable with Excel who can follow a tutorial. Mid-complexity workflow app, a field service app where technicians complete inspection forms, attach photos, get GPS stamped, and auto-route submissions to supervisors. This requires connecting multiple data sources and building Power Automate flows alongside the app. Now, let's talk about Power Apps versus custom software development for SMBs. This comparison comes up in almost every SMB evaluation. Here's a direct look at where each approach wins. For internal tooling at SMB scale, Power Apps wins on almost every dimension. Where custom software is the right call, customer-facing applications with complex UX requirements, high transaction volumes, or security models that go beyond standard role-based access. The low-code versus bespoke software cost breakdown goes deeper on when each approach makes financial sense for your specific situation. Now, let's talk about Power Apps use cases that deliver real ROI for SMBs. These are the scenarios where Power Apps for SMBs consistently delivers measurable returns, not just convenience. 1. Expense and approval workflows. Paper-based or email-driven approval chains cost an average of $16 per transaction when you factor in staff time. A Power Apps form connected to Power Automate approvals cuts this to under $1 per transaction and reduces processing time from 3 days to under 4 hours. 2. Field data collection. Sales teams, inspectors, and service technicians collecting data on paper or in emails create transcription delays and data errors. A mobile Canvas app eliminates transcription entirely. One logistics company reduced their dispatch error rate by 34% after moving field reporting to Power Apps. Now, limitations of Power Apps SMB should know before starting. Power Apps delivers real value, but there are traps that catch teams by surprise. Data row limits in Canvas apps. By default, Canvas apps only load the first 500 rows from a data source unless you configure delegation, which pushes filtering and sorting to the data source itself. Not all connectors support all delegatable functions. If your SharePoint list has 5,000 items and you search it inside the app, you may only search the first 500 without delegation configured correctly. External user licensing. Sharing an app with users outside your Microsoft 365 tenant, such as customers, vendors, or contractors, requires either a per app license for those users or Power Pages for external-facing portals. This surprises SMBs who assumed external access was covered under their existing plan. Next up, moving on to conclusion. Power Apps for SMBs is not a replacement for every software need, but for internal tooling it is difficult to beat. The combination of fast build times, low ongoing costs, native Microsoft 365 integration, and a growing connector library means most SMBs can automate 3 to 5 manual processes in their first 90 days on the platform, without hiring a developer. The right approach is to start small. Pick one painful, manual process, build an app for it, and ship it to your team within 2 weeks. Teams that ship their first Power Apps Canvas app typically ship 5 more within 6 months, because the barrier to building the next one drops significantly once you have done it once. If you're evaluating how Power Apps fits into your broader Microsoft 365 investment, or you want experienced help getting your first build right, Q Services works with SMBs across healthcare, logistics, and financial services to ship Power Platform solutions quickly. Get in touch and we can scope your first app in a single call.